Hi y'all. I am doing my presentation on North Idaho Community Mental Health. It is in the panhandle of Idaho up here in Sandpoint, and it is where I'm doing my internship. NICMH is privately owned. It is a for-profit business. It is owned by Jenny Brotherton, and she has a team of people that help her manage everything. They serve the Sandpoint area as well as surrounding areas, I think about it in like 40 or 50 miles in every direction. Being in a rural area, we do tend to have people drive sometimes an hour to get services. The goal of the agency is to help people achieve long-term recovery, and no one is ever turned away from their inability to pay. And we have a variety of services to help treat individuals and families under one roof. So the social problems being addressed by the agency, I would say the big ones are poverty and intergenerational trauma. NICMH has been around for over 20 years, and so they really have been able to address patterns within family units by working with children and grandchildren of clients that they had 2 decades ago. And then with poverty, like I said before, they're never going to turn anybody away because of the inability to pay. We accept Medicaid, we accept almost all insurance providers, and we do sliding scale. There are programs to help people with severe mental illness, so bipolar and schizophrenia and any sort of psychosis. We help people with social engagement and different things that like case management may address, food insecurity and like assistance with utilities and housing. And then we also help with depression, anxiety, substance use disorder, and disabilities. The social policies and laws that impact NICMH are, I would say, the common ones that would impact other places as well. So things like HIPAA, insurance requirements, licensure requirements for the clinicians. And in Idaho, what the legislation determines necessary, similar to other states, it's kind of what dictates us. Medicaid tends to be a little bit more conservative here with their budget, so that is something I'm learning a lot about. For the governance of the agency, we're not a nonprofit. We are a for-profit business, so there's no governing board. There is an individual owner, and then Jill Hicks is the clinical director. She's one of the therapists. There's an admin team that does a lot of the paperwork and the behind-the-scenes stuff. And then the agency is monitored by the contracts that they keep. So insurance companies mainly. So whatever those insurance companies are requiring, we have to stay up to date with that. And then county certificates, business licenses, stuff like that. For the agency structure leadership, I have this beautiful organization chart that I probably won't go through every piece of it. For the clinical program, so that's the therapy and the psychotherapy that's happening. Jill Hicks oversees the therapists and all the mental health treatment and the coordination of that. For developmental disabilities and I realized I said CRBS. It's CBRS, so community-based rehabilitative services. That's Tatum Miller. So this is behavioral interventions services for children that are also receiving counseling. Our peer support program, which is the program that assists people who have severe mental illness, that is Neil Davis, and how that works is individuals that are stable but have a diagnosis are helping people who would like to achieve stability. And then case management, my supervisor, Renee Jordan, she oversees me. I am right now the only person doing case management. Case management is all about referring people to services and giving them their helping them get their tangible needs met. So for funding, it's insurance and fee for services. That is all that we receive. We do not receive grants. We do not receive donations. And we have sliding scale. So really the bulk of it, I would say 80 to 90% of our funding is from insurance reimbursement, and most of that is from Medicaid. And so, yeah, learning a lot about Medicaid and how all of that works with billing. The internship program and accountability. So the interns have historically been involved in like every aspect of the program. It's really up to the intern and their interest and their readiness, and just the appropriateness of, like, yeah, interacting with that service, I guess. So for me, I'm not doing as much clinical shadowing as a second year student might. I'm doing case management. I'm going to shadow some CBRS. It would be more appropriate for me to shadow clinic in my second year. Accountability, there is no like data collection or anything that is happening on any sort of formal level. It's happens through weekly meetings, supervision. The completed documents that I turn in for case management, my supervisor, Renee, goes over most of them. And there is accountability and feedback with that. At the very beginning of my internship, I was very grateful. The owner of the company sat us all down and had a full orientation. We walked around the building. We went through insurance and what an audit would look like. We looked at the agency's structure. We talked about our individual goals and the goals of the agency. We talked about confidentiality and HIPAA. We reviewed the policy and procedure manuals and the employee handbook. And it was emphasized that we are not expected to make decisions on our own or independently, and we were encouraged to seek feedback. The agency mission, NICMH is committed to providing quality therapeutic services for the welfare of our clients and families, ensuring needs are met and personal growth is achieved while maintaining personal integrity for the ultimate success of the client. Our services are designed to promote empowerment, foster self-determination, choice, and work towards providing resiliency. All of the programs work towards this goal, and they do not have individual goals, but rather just objectives and definitions of their services, as that I've already mentioned. So, community collaborations, really anyone that we have to get a release of information from, I feel like is an organization that we're collaborating with. But a lot of working with people in the school system, at the health department, working with doctors, different psychiatric hospitals, child protective services, other mental health agencies. We don't really have any space for any more clients coming in that are needing therapy, so we're doing a lot of referring out. And yeah, we have to coordinate with provider networks on the state level. Service delivery models, case management, it's just kind of now getting off the ground. They weren't doing it for a long time, so I've been able to see that. I like that NICMH is a very client-centered practice. There's trauma-informed care, substance use-informed. A lot of the interventions that I have learned, I've done a motivational interviewing workshop. I have done some workshops on suicide prevention, some domestic violence training, and there's going to be a polyvagal training in December. And that is all. North Idaho Community Mental Health has been a great place to intern. I feel very fortunate to be somewhere where people are very supportive of my educational goals and journey as a social worker.